They smiled at me, pretending to be proud, but I didn't know my own parents had already forged my name off the house papers and handed everything to my sister. The home I spent every penny of my life savings on, stolen from me in silence. My chest tightened as I stared at the deed, my name missing, erased like I never existed. How could they betray me like this? If this shocks you, don't forget to hit subscribe, share this story, and stay till the end, because you won't believe the twist that's coming. I was Loren, the son they always called useless, the one they never invited to family gatherings because I wasn't successful enough. But behind their backs, I had been grinding for years. I worked double shifts, skipped meals, and saved every single dollar so I could do something no one expected: buy my parents a beautiful home. When I finally held the keys, I thought it would heal all the cracks in our family. But instead of gratitude, I was met with whispers. My sister Amanda smirked every time she looked at me, like she already knew a secret I didn't. My father would pat my back, but his eyes never softened. And my mother? She avoided talking about the house at all. Something was off, but I ignored my gut, because I wanted so badly to believe I had finally made them proud. Then, the truth hit me like a knife. At the so-called family dinner to celebrate the house, Amanda pulled out the deed and waved it in front of everyone. My name wasn't there, hers was. My parents had signed it all over to her, erasing me completely. And the worst part? They acted like it was normal, like I should clap for her. My hands trembled as I gripped the edge of the table, my heart pounding so loud I couldn't even hear their fake laughter anymore. They thought I was powerless, but they had no idea what I had hidden from them all along. Amanda leaned back in her chair, twirling the keys around her finger like a trophy. "Face it, Loren," she said with that smug grin. "You were never responsible enough to own something this big. Mom and Dad just protected the family by giving it to me." Her words cut deep, but what hurt more was my parents nodding in agreement. My own father said, "Son, you've always been reckless. Amanda will keep the house safe." Reckless? I had worked 18-hour days, walked miles when I couldn't afford gas, skipped holidays just to save money, yet in their eyes, I was still nothing. I forced a smile, but inside my blood boiled. They thought I was weak, that I would just accept their betrayal. What they didn't know was that for the past 3 years, while saving for the house, I had been quietly building something much bigger, something none of them even imagined. But I didn't reveal it yet. No, I let Amanda gloat. She bragged about how she'd throw parties in her new house, how she might even remodel the kitchen I had chosen so carefully. Every laugh felt like a dagger, but I sat still, letting them underestimate me. Then came the moment that nearly broke me. My mother looked me dead in the eye and said, "Loren, you should be grateful. At least you have a roof to visit now. Without Amanda, where would you even go?" The entire room erupted in laughter. My chest tightened, and I felt my throat burn, but I bit my tongue. Because while they laughed, I remembered the sealed envelope in my bag. The one with papers they hadn't seen. The one that could turn their smug smiles into shock. I knew it wasn't the right time yet. But soon, very soon, they were going to realize that the useless son they mocked was holding far more than just a house deed. And when that moment came, none of them would be ready for the truth. Amanda clinked her glass, raising it high like she had just won the lottery. "To me," she laughed, "the rightful owner of this home. And to my dear brother Loren, thanks for your little donation." The entire table roared with laughter, and my father even wiped tears from his eyes. It felt like knives twisting in my chest. The house wasn't just money to me. It was years of sacrifice, nights of hunger, mornings of exhaustion. And now they were mocking me for it. I sat there silent, my fists hidden under the table, nails digging into my palms. If I exploded now, they'd call me bitter. If I begged, they'd call me weak. So instead, I let them laugh. I let Amanda smirk as if she had won. Because what they didn't know was that every insult, every betrayal, was fuel for the fire I had been quietly building. 3 years ago, while everyone thought I was just struggling to make ends meet, I was doing more than saving for a house. I was learning, investing, taking risks they would have never believed I was capable of. I stayed up nights studying real estate markets, pouring money into small properties, fixing them up, and flipping them for profit. Every check I earned went back into building more. By the time I handed my parents this house, I wasn't just broke, I was already sitting on an empire they had no clue about. But looking at their faces now, so smug, so sure of their victory, I realized something. Revealing my success too early would rob me of the satisfaction I deserved. They needed to dig their hole deeper. They needed to humiliate me more, so when I finally spoke, the impact would shatter them. "Loren," my mother suddenly said, her tone sharp, "you should start looking for a small rental. Amanda won't want you hanging around here too often. You don't want to embarrass her when she invites people over." Amanda snorted and added, "Don't worry, Mom. I'll let him stay in the guest room if he behaves." Laughter again, louder this time. My father poured himself another drink, leaned back, and muttered, "I always knew Amanda would be the one to carry the family name. Loren was just temporary." Those words almost broke me. Temporary. Like I was just a mistake passing through their lives. But then my phone buzzed in my pocket, a reminder of the meeting I had the next morning. A meeting that would change everything, because tomorrow the ink would dry on a deal bigger than this entire house. Tomorrow, I'd officially become the majority owner of a real estate firm worth millions. And when that truth came out, my parents and Amanda wouldn't just regret betraying me, they'd choke on their own laughter. I glanced around the table, watching them celebrate my downfall. They thought they had won, but little did they know. The game hadn't even started. The next morning, while Amanda paraded through the new house like a queen inspecting her castle, I dressed in silence. She tapped her heels against the marble floors I had chosen, laughing with Mom about how she might paint over the boring colors Loren picked. I clenched my jaw, grabbed my bag, and walked out without a word. That day, I didn't go to my tiny rented apartment like they thought. I drove downtown, straight into the glass building with my name hidden on its paperwork. The receptionist greeted me with a smile. "Good morning, Mr. Bennett. The board is waiting." For a moment, I just stood there, soaking it in. To my family, I was still the failure son. But in reality, I was about to sign the final papers making me majority owner of a multi-million-dollar real estate firm. Inside the boardroom, lawyers slid thick folders across the table. The deal was official. Properties across 3 states were now mine. I shook hands with investors in suits worth more than Amanda's entire closet. And yet I kept it quiet. No calls to my family, no bragging. I wanted the reveal to be surgical, a strike that would leave them speechless. By evening, Amanda had thrown her first party in her new house. Expensive wine bottles were lined up, and neighbors were already congratulating her on her success. When I walked in, she raised an eyebrow. "Oh, you came? I didn't think you'd want to watch me enjoy the house you couldn't keep." Her voice dripped with venom. I smiled, forcing calm. "I wouldn't miss it," I replied. My father clapped me on the back. "See, Loren? This is why we trusted Amanda. She knows how to manage things. You should take notes from your sister." The guests chuckled. I felt the sting, but I didn't flinch. Instead, I scanned the room, the perfect audience for what was about to come. Then Amanda's friend, drunk on champagne, shouted, "Hey, Loren, is it true you don't even own a car? That you Uber everywhere?" The crowd erupted in laughter. My sister covered her mouth, pretending to be embarrassed, but her eyes danced with cruelty. I stood there, every laugh echoing in my head. They thought they had stripped me of everything. They thought I was a guest in my own gift. But the documents in my bag said otherwise. I raised my glass and the room quieted. "Funny," I said softly, "how fast fortunes can change. One day you're laughing at the poor son. The next, you might find out he's the only reason this roof stands above your head." Amanda rolled her eyes. "Oh, please, Loren, stop with the drama. You gave the house away. It's mine now. Everyone knows that." I leaned forward, letting my voice cut through the silence. Are you sure about that, Amanda? Because what if I told you this house is just the smallest thing I own? The smirks faltered. Glasses froze midair. My mother narrowed her eyes. What are you talking about, Loren? I let the pause hang heavy, watching their confusion grow. And then I pulled out the envelope. Let's just say, the game has changed, and none of you are ready for what comes next. The room froze as I placed the thick envelope on the table. Amanda laughed nervously, trying to recover the spotlight. What's this? Another one of your little savings accounts? Did you bring your bank statement to impress us? Her voice cracked on the last word, and I knew she was already unsettled. Slowly, I opened the envelope and slid the documents out. Not a savings account, I said evenly. These are the contracts I signed yesterday. I'm now the majority owner of Bennett Realty Group. Every building you've seen going up in this city, half of them now belong to me. Gasps filled the room. A neighbor leaned in, whispering, Bennett Realty? That company's worth millions. Suddenly, all eyes snapped back to me. Amanda's smirk slipped, her glass clinking against the counter as her hand shook. My father frowned, refusing to believe it. Stop this nonsense, Loren. You can't even keep a car, let alone a company. I chuckled, pulling out my phone. Funny you say that, Dad. Because tomorrow morning, you'll read about me on the front page of the financial section. Unless you want to hear it now, straight from the source. I turned the screen, showing them the signed press release scheduled for distribution. My name was there, bold and undeniable. The guests erupted into chatter. Amanda's face turned pale, her little victory over the house shrinking into nothing. This can't be real. You were broke. You were always broke, she stammered. I stepped closer, my voice low but sharp enough for the entire room to hear. I let you think that. I let all of you laugh at me, call me useless, erase me from my own home. But while you mocked me, I was building an empire. And now? The home you stole is just pocket change compared to what I own. My mother's lips trembled. But we did what was best for the family. I cut her off. No, you did what was best for Amanda. You chose her because you thought I was weak. But let me make something crystal clear. From this moment on, I don't need a family that doesn't respect me. And you don't deserve a son who fought for years just to be betrayed. Amanda's eyes brimmed with tears, but it was too late. The neighbors who once clapped for her now whispered behind their hands, pointing at me with awe. My father slumped into his chair, humiliated. My mother looked down, ashamed. I raised my glass one last time. Here's to the house you stole. Keep it, I've already outgrown it. But remember this. Every time you step through those doors, every time you brag about these walls, you'll know the truth. This was built by the son you betrayed, the one you thought would never rise. The room fell into dead silence, broken only by the sound of Amanda's glass shattering on the floor. And for the first time in my life, I walked out, not as their disappointment, not as their scapegoat, but as the man who finally held the power they could never take away.